So we are now on lesson 3 about exponents and radicals. So I think medyo familiar na din to sa inyo, but we'll review this particular topic this time. So first, let us introduce etong integer exponents. So usually multiple or repeated multiplications could be written as in exponential form. For example, we multiplied 2 by 2 by 2 again and by 2 again. So meaning, we multiplied 2 4 times. Upat siya kabalik nag-multiply. So we could write that in exponential form as 2 raised to 4. Meaning, i-multiply siya upat ka beses. So that's too easy. It's too fundamental. So, ang gagawin natin, we'll just get the definition of exponents. So, let us describe what is exponential notation. So, allow me to get this here. Ayan. So, this is what exponential notation is. So, if A daw, if A is a real number and n is a positive integer, then A raised to n is equal to this. A times A times A times up to kung pila siya ka-factors. So kung pila diri ang iyang value, that would be the number of times you multiply the base A. Okay? So n is the exponent and A is the base. So the expression A raised to n is read as A to the nth power. Or A raised to n. Pwede din naman. So A to the nth power. So probably I'll be imagining this always as the this is the formal way of saying it. A to the nth power. Okay, so that's it. Let us proceed directly now to the properties of exponents. Okay, for properties of exponents, if we let A, B, and B be real numbers, variables, or algebraic expressions, and we let M and N be integers, because still we are dealing with integer exponents. So, ulitin natin ha. A and B are real numbers or terms or variables and or algebraic expressions. M and N are integers. So, we have these 8 properties of exponents. Okay? So, the first property is this. Sige, let us zoom in. The first property is, if we have A raised to M multiplied by A raised to N, the answer daw is A raised to M plus N. Bakit kaya? So, di ba, ang M dictates kung pila siya ka beses gi-multiply. So, for example, we have 2 raised to 3 multiplied by the same base 2 raised to 2. Okay? So, ang 2 raised to 3 is actually 2 times 2 times 2 times, how about 2 squared? Ang 2 squared is 2 times 2. So, this time, it seems like we multiplied 2 ng 5 beses. Diba? So, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, therefore, this is 2 raised to 5. That is the same as adding the two exponents. So, that's why A raised to M times A raised to N is A raised to M plus N. So, ganyan lang naman. So, example. Yun ang example natin. So, as our example, we have 2 raised to, ibahin natin yung color. We have 2 raised to 3 times 2 raised to 2. That's 2 raised to 5. How about this? If division naman ang operation, so we have A raised to M over A raised to N. Okay? Wait, tayo sa ating camera. Okay, that is equal to A raised to the difference of M and N, or M minus N. Why? Again, the same na lang. If 2 raised to 3 is divided by 2 raised to 2, that is equal to Ang 2 raised to 3 again is 2 times 2 times 2 over ang 2 squared is 2 times 2. Okay? So, maka-cancel out natin to because this is equivalent to 1, this is equivalent to 1. So, ang nabilin is 2 na lang. 2 raised to 1 or nag-iisang 2. 2 raised to 1. So, that is the same as 2 raised to the difference of 3 and 2. So, 2 raised to 1. Okay? So, kung the same base, again, take note that this is for the same base. So, ganun pa rin, 2 cube over 2 squared is equal to 2 raised to, lagyan natin dito 3 minus 2, the answer is 2 raised to 1. Okay. Next, how about this? Okay, ito. If we have a base raised to a negative exponent, negative integer, the answer is 1 over a raised to n or 1 over a raised to n or the quantity 1 over a raised to n. Bakit? Okay, ito na lang muna. I think, sige, before we illustrate the reason behind this, pwede natin isunod muna to. We have this property that a raised to 0 is equal to 1 as long as a is not 0 because 0 to 0 is indeterminate. That's another whole different topic, but yeah, 0 raised to 0 is indeterminate, so di pwede. So that's why a should have a value. If it is raised to 0, the answer is 1. So that's one property in algebra. Now, going back to this, if a raised to 0 is equal to 1, therefore, we could also imagine this as a, paano ba? Pwede natin gawin tong a raised to, lagyan ko ng ink para hindi nawawala. Wait, eto. We could say that, we could imagine a, ano ba yan? Okay, a raised to negative n. This is the same as a raised to 0 minus n. Diba? Uy, sorry, natakpan. Ayan. So, a raised to negative n is the same as a raised to 0 minus n. No? 0 minus n is negative n. Okay? So, by properties of exponent, you look at this. Okay? This is the same as a raised to 0 over a raised to n. Diba? Compare. Okay? And a raised to 0 is 1. So, this is 1 over a raised to n. So, eto na yan. Okay? How about this? Bakit nilabas yung n? It is because, if you raise 1 to any number, let's say n, the answer is still 1. So, therefore, we could rewrite 1 as 1 raised to n over a raised to n. So, common naman sila. For numerator and denominator, pwede mo siyang ilabas na lang 1 over a, the quantity of 1 over a raised to n. So, eto na siya. Okay? Ganoin. So, madali lang. So, how about number, saan tayo? So, number 4. So, tapos na yung number 4. Ito yung number 5. So, number 5, the quantity ab, or a times b raised to m, is the same as a raised to m times b raised to m. Remember, magkaiba na yung base dito. A and B na yung base. So, they have different bases, so we cannot combine this anymore. So, the property daw is, pag ganito yung operation natin, multiplication ng operation dito, it's just like distributing the exponent. So, A could be raised to M, and B could be raised to M. Parang ganito. If you have 2 times 3 raised to 2. Ayun. So, that means, it is the same as 2 times 3 times 2 times 3. Diba? Atong gi-raise or minultiply natin yung 2 times 3 dalawang beses. So, 2 times 3 times 2 times 3. And kung i-rearrange natin, kasi multiplication naman lahat, so 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which is the same as 2 squared times 3 squared. So, it's as if parang dinistribute na lang yung 2 dito. So, 2 squared times 3 squared. Ganuin lang. The same pa rin. Ala, di ko na ito ma-adjust. Ito na lang. Ibahin ko na yung ink. For number 6 naman, close ko dito. For number 6 naman, ito yung property. Okay, matatakpan na naman. Ito yung property. A raised to m, quantity of that, or quantity a raised to m, raised to n is just a times the product of the exponents m and m. So, how do we illustrate that? Again, gamitan natin ng, let's say, ang base natin is 2. Yeah, 2 raised to 3. Okay? Wait. Sorry. Ayan. So, 2 raised to 3. So, yung 2 raised to 3, erase pa natin to, let's say, raised to 4. So, that means, yung 2 raised to 3 times 2 raised to 3 times 2 raised to 3 times 2 raised to 3. So, we just repeated the multiplication of 2 raised to 3 4 times. Yun yung ibig sabihin nito. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin? Ano yung property for the same base? Pagpara yung base. Pagpara yung base, ako din ang sasagot. Pagpara yung base, we just add all the exponents. So, that means 2 raised to 3 times 3. Add. But multiply. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 2 raised to 12. 2 raised to 12. And 12 is just 3 times 4. So, yun yung illustrations for this property. Okay. Eto, I think this is natakal na doon sa unang example, no? So, ganito. So, kung the same siya ng exponent, you can just take that out. So, conversely, kung ganito yung situation natin, a over b raised to a certain exponent, so, it's like you distributed the exponent na lang dito. Okay? Diba? Kasi common. Parang yung it's what's it saying is that eto siyang whole value is ni-raise into m. Kailan pa ba may example? I think kahit di na. Okay, and number 8, eto. So, tandaan nyo din yung property ng number 8 na the absolute value of a squared is the same as if you take out the exponents. So, the exponent. So, the absolute value of a raised to 2, which is just the same as a squared. So, these and these are the same then. The result is still a squared. But, again, this is only true for, 4 raised to 2. Okay? So, ito yung tatandaan yung property for a raised to 2. Ayan. So, ganun. Ganun lang siya kadali. So, I think we could proceed to some examples. Wait, let me retrieve some examples. Ito. So, parang mag-problem drills na lang tayo this time. As long as matandaan natin yung mga, or i-practice na lang natin yung mga properties. So, we'll start with this. Ito. Evaluating exponential expressions. By the way, kapila na na problem. This is wait ha. 12, 13th na. So, problem 13. This is our problem 13, evaluating exponential expressions. So, ito. So, how do we evaluate this? This one. That is the same as multiplying negative 5 2 times. So, negative 5 times negative 5, that's positive 25. Very easy. Why challenge? How about this? Are they the same? The answer is not. Siyempre, ako din sasagot. Wala akong kausap. So, eto siya. Itong parenthesis means that ang imong gi-square, yung in-square mo, is this whole negative 5, the whole term. Ito siya, kasama siya sa in-square. But this time, ito, ang in-square mo lang is yung 5. So, meaning this is negative 1 times 5 squared. So, ano mangyayari doon? So, that would be negative times 5 times 5. The answer is negative 25. Okay, how about this? So, by property number 1, this is for letter C. So, that's 2 raised to 1 times 2 raised to 4. That is 2 raised to 1 plus 4. That's 2 raised to 5. Very easy, walang challenge. And how about this? Letter D, that's the second property. The same ang base. Okay? Different exponent. So that is the same as 4 raised to 4 minus 6. That is equal to 4 raised to negative 2. But wait, there's more. Anong sabi? If it's raised to a negative number, nagiging reciprocal. So therefore, this is the same as 1 over 4 squared. So pwede mong ilipat doon sa baba. Or, what is 4 times 4? That's 16. Ayan. So, 1 over 6 is the answer. Napakadali. So, again, ang hashtag dire is very easy. Okay, wrong spelling. Very easy. Ayan. Wala bang mas mahirap nito? For you? Baka pag mahirap, di na tayo maka-answer. So, okay na tong madali. Ayan. So, let's try another one. I think may space pa sa baba. Ayan, may space pa nga. This is our problem number 14. Problem 14. Evaluating algebraic expressions again. Ayan, medyo takpan. Evaluate each algebraic expression when x is equal to 3. So, we know what to do in here. So, we just need to substitute 3 to x. Okay? So, for letter A, wala na namang challenge to, no? That's just 5 times 3 raised to negative 2. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Again, negative yung exponent, magiging reciprocal. So, that's 5 times 1 over 3 squared. Okay. So, if you see the property or the pattern, if negative ang exponent, ilipat mo siya sa baba para maging positive yung exponent. Okay? So, that's equal to 5 over 3 squared or 5 over 9. Very easy. Napakadali. So, letter B. How about 1/3 times negative x cube? Okay, so substitute natin x equal to 3. So, that's equal to 1/3 times negative x. X is 3 raised to 3. Okay? So, this means yung negative 3, we need to multiply that 3 times. So, negative 3 times negative 3. Nasulat lang natin, ha? So, that's the same as 1/3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Okay. And what is negative 3 over 3? That's negative 1. Okay. So, pwede natin sulat ulit for these two. That is negative 1 times negative 3 times negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 times negative 1. The answer is negative 9. So, hashtag walang tulugan challenge. Napakadali. Okay. Tayo, another one. Another one. Another one. Ay, nako. So, how about, let's try this problem. Kapila na. Makalimutan agad. Problem number 15. So, this is problem 15. Use the properties of exponents to simplify each expression. Kaya? Kakayanin? Okay? So, let's try letter A. For letter A, we have, sulat na lang natin ulit, negative 3ab raised to 4 times 4ab raised to negative 3. So, ang pwede natin gawin dito, we could group first. Ganito. Let us regroup kasi multiplication naman lahat ng operation niya. So, we could do this like ganito. Negative 3 times 4 times, a times a times b raised to 4 times b raised to negative 3. Then you use the properties of exponents. So, that's negative 12. A times a is a squared. And this, anong pwedeng gawin dito? You are multiplying two exponential expressions. with the same base, so you just add the exponents. So add the exponents, 4 plus negative 3, that's 4 minus 3, that's equal to 1. So B. So that is the answer. Yan lang naman yung answer. So konti na lang, pwede na akong dapat na lang ako, no? Nag-Indian YouTuber na lang ako. Okay. How about letter B? For letter B, we have 2xy squared cubed. Okay. How do we do that? Again, remember the property A times B raised to M. That's the same as A raised to M, B raised to M. Natakpan. Sorry. A times B raised to M is A raised to M, B raised to M. So therefore, pwede natin i-distribute na lang yung mga exponents dito sa tatlong factor. So we have 2 cube times x cube times y squared cube. Okay, and what do we do with this? Again, we have the property a raised to m times n, or raised to n, I mean, you just multiply the exponents. Ayan, this property. This one. Okay? So, balikan natin dito. So, that is equal to 2 cube. What is 2 cube? That's 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. X cube. Y, then you multiply this, 6. Y raised to 6. Very, very easy. Yan, walang challenge. Letter C. Let's try letter C. Let's just write it here. Letter C. Tatakpan ko lang din. Okay. For letter C, that's 3a times negative 4 squared raised to 0. Okay. Parang tricky pero easy lang. Okay. Remember that any number raised to, or any number, variable, or anything, variable or expression, I mean, any number, variable, or expression raised to 0 is 1. So therefore, this whole expression is raised to 0. So this whole expression is equal to 1. This is simply 3a times 1. The answer is 3a. Why challenge? So, hindi naman. So letter D. How about your letter D? The letter D is 5x cubed over y squared. So, balikan natin yung properties. Pag ganito, you just distribute. So, you distribute it like this. So, kani, eto, kung i-distribute natin dito, kailangan i-distribute natin siya sa whole expression x raised to, x times, 5x cubed. Okay? So, isulat muna natin siya as 5x cubed squared. Okay? Over y squared. So, remember we distribute it to the whole expression there, holding yung numerator. Okay? Baka ma-tempt kayo na 5x cubed squared. Ay, namali. Okay. So, that is equal to what will happen here. Ito naman, distribute ulit kasi multiplication siya. So, that would be 5 squared times x cubed squared over y squared. So, what is the answer? That would be 25, x raised to, what will happen here? Again, property a raised to m raised to n, so multiply. So that's x raised to 6 over y squared. Okay? Okay, now for the next problem, problem 16. For the next problem, let's try this one. Problem 16 na. Yan. Rewriting positive exponents. Ayan. What does it mean? Problem 16. Rewriting positive exponents. So, given are exponential expressions with negative exponents. So, all we need to do is to change this into positive exponents. Okay? So, for letter A, sobrang dali. What should we do with letter A? You just take the reciprocal. That is just 1 over x raised to 1, or 1 over x. Napakadali, no? How about letter B? Sa letter B, that's 1 over 3x raised to negative 2. Remember, dito, ang naka-raised to negative 2 is just x, no? Baka kasi ma-confuse kayo, the whole term, mali. Okay sana kung ganun sana if may parenthesis dito. That means this whole terms or this whole term is raised to negative 2. Pero ito, wala siyang parenthesis, wala siyang grouping symbol, so that means yung x lang yung raised to negative 2. So, yung x lang raised to 2, o itong x lang yung ilipat natin dito. So, therefore, this becomes x squared over 3. Okay? Kasi we need to get the reciprocal man. Reciprocal. The reciprocal of this is 1 over x squared. So remember, if you multiply, that's 1/3 divided by x raised to negative 2. Diba? So that is, you multiply that by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1 over x squared is x squared. So ayan. That is equal to x squared over 3. Or simply, ito, nilipat natin dito para positive na exponent niya. Ganun na lang. Next. About for letter C. For A, okay. B. So, anong pwedeng gawin natin dito? Dito, we could apply the property na lang muna. Or pwede din, ganun, the same property na lipat-lipat. Pero pwedeng diretso na lang any property that will be applicable here. So, ito na lang. Unahin natin to. 12 over 4. 12 over 4 is 3. Tapos ito. So that, how do we evaluate a raised to m over a raised to n? We subtract the exponent. So that is a raised to 3 minus the exponent sa ilalim is negative 2 minus negative 2. Okay? Times, how about this? Again, i-minus natin yung exponent. So that would be b raised to negative 4 minus the exponent here is 1 minus 1. Yan. So that becomes 3 times a. So 3 minus 2 times negative 2, that's 3 plus 2. 5. Okay? So times b, saan ang mangyayari dito? That's negative 4 minus 1, negative 5. And syempre, negative yung exponent ng b, ilipat natin siya sa ilalim. So that becomes 3a raised to 5 over, ayusin natin, 3a raised to 5 over b raised to 5. So, we could answer it like that. Or pwede din ganito. You can do it like this. Basta applicable. So, again, ulitin natin. Alternate solution. Ito. Unahin natin to. That's 3. Pwede din, ang gawin natin dito, itong negative na exponent, ilipat natin sa taas. So, that would be a cube multiplied by ito na nilipat natin sa taas. A squared na siya. Okay? Over, wait, lipat natin equal sign dito. Over, eto siya, may b na dati tayo sa ilalim b. Tapos eto, ilipat natin sa baba kasi negative yung exponent. So, times b raised to 4 na, positive na. So, anong mangyayari? Sa numerator, we have 3a. So, we multiply two exponential expression of the same base. So, just add the exponents. A raised to 5 over the same dito. Just add 1 and 4. So, 5. B raised to 5. And that is the same as this. Okay? So, you can approach it like that. Ayun, pareho sila. Okay? Now, how about letter D? Sa letter D, you can solve this in various ways din. For letter D, we have 3x squared over y raised to negative 2. Okay. Anong pwede natin gawin muna? One way of doing this is, ito na lang. We could distribute again. Okay? So, we could rewrite this as 3x squared raised to negative 2 over y raised to negative 2. Okay, sunod. Since negative exponent yung nasa taas, ilipat natin siya entirely sa baba. So, ilipat natin sa baba, 3x squared, positive squared na. Okay? Tapos ito, negative yung exponent niya, ilipat natin sa taas, y squared. And simplify, wait, let me adjust my doorbell. Let me adjust. Okay? So, dito, this will become now y squared over, eto, distribute din natin. So, 3 squared. So, what is 3 squared? That's 9. Tapos, x squared squared. Just multiply 2 and 2, 4. So, that is one solution. Okay, another way of solving this. Ito, pwede din natin gawin ganito. Since negative yung exponent niya, we need to change this into its reciprocal. Kasi negative yung exponent. Ganun naman ginawa natin, di ba? A raised to negative m, get the reciprocal. So, ito, the reciprocal of this is just flip. I-flip lang natin, balik na rin. So, that is equal to, ibahin natin yung color konti. That is equal to reciprocal y over 3x squared. Positive na siya. Kasi ni-reciprocate na natin. Kinuha natin yung reciprocal. Sorry. So, y squared over 3x squared squared. Same procedure. Dinistribute na natin to. So, that's equal to y squared over 9x raised to 4. Pareho lang naman to. So, pareho din to. Okay. So, that is one way of solving that. Hashtag easy pa rin. Okay. Okay, let's have another one.